pushing the limits of speed through the air, or practicing his backswing on the range, Major Dan Rooney has always lived his life with a focus on his two biggest passions.
My dream since I was 12 years old was to become a PGA golf professional and an F-16 fighter pilot.
Two completely different paths, but Dan was determined to do both, and he did. Part-time PGA Tour professional and part-time F-16 fighter pilot. Dan's life story reads like a fictional character in a movie. He served 3 tours of duty in Iraq as a member of the Oklahoma Air National Guard. Major Rooney piloted many important combat missions, but it was as a passenger on a commercial flight home following his second tour that he was inspired to take his life in a new direction that ultimately would impact, enhance, and improve tens of thousands of lives.
I came back home for my second tour and I didn't do anything until I had a moment of what I call synchronicity, and that's when chance and purpose come together in your life. And it was actually on a commercial airline flight from Chicago O'Hare to Grand Rapids, Michigan. And as I walked through first class, I saw this young corporal. He was in dress army greens, and thought, yeah, it's kind of funny, but figured somebody swapped seats with him, whatever that may be, and walked back to my seat in coach. And about 45 minutes later, we landed in Grand Rapids. At this point, it's after midnight. And as we pull into the gate, the captain comes over the PA and says that we're carrying an American hero on board. And the captain continued very emotionally and said that we had the remains of Corporal Brock Buckland on this flight who'd been killed in Iraq, and his identical twin brother, Corporal Brad Buckland, was in first class, and it brought him those 7,000 miles home. For me, obviously, the war follows you home at that point. I sat there and I listened to the captain make another emotional plea to everybody on the plane that night, despite it now being into the next morning, that folks stay in their seats to honor the sacrifice that Brock had made for our country until his remains had been removed from the right cargo hold. That night I watched The Other Side of War. As the ceremony finishes itself up, I grabbed my backpack and I looked back to the airplane, and I was as shocked as I've ever been in my life to see that more than half the people had gotten off the plane. And despite obviously the captain's request to stay in their seats, and it was at that moment that I got my mission in life, and I had no idea. I'd always dreamed of being a golf professional and a fighter pilot. Ultimately had no idea that those things would combine in the way that they did.
The experience on that plane that evening left Dan with the vision to create something bigger than himself. He wanted to touch the lives of those affected by the tragedies of war. And with that in mind, he brought together his unique gifts to found the Folds of Honor Foundation. Named for the 13 folds that transformed the American flag into a triangle, the foundation was created to ensure that no soldier, nor fallen soldier's family, is left behind on the battlefield. Through scholarships and other assistance, the foundation gives back to the spouses and children of soldiers killed or disabled in service to our country.
We created the Folds of Honor Foundation with a mission to leave no family behind on the field of battle. And we have almost 4,000 recipients represented in all 50 states. And our first recipient is now 10 years old, and his name is Jacob, and that's Brock's son. And the only limits he'll have as far as his education goes are the dreams in his heart. And through the great patriots across this country, we've honored that family and thousands of others, and more importantly, empowered them with the opportunity to get an education and continue to live the dream that so many people fight to defend.
His foundation has exploded over the last 5 years, and Major Dan and the Folds of Honor Foundation are one of the founding charity partners of the 2013 Commitment Day movement. His magnetic and charismatic personality draws in people from around the world that want to be part of what he's doing, including some very powerful and influential individuals.
We've been very blessed to have some amazing individuals enlist in the Folds of Honor mission. And probably at the top of that list, I would say at the top of that list, is President George W. Bush.
President Bush wanted to be part of the foundation from the beginning, and since leaving office has been actively involved with Folds of Honor as the chairman of Patriot Golf Day, which allows golfers all over the country to donate $1 during a round of golf during Labor Day weekend. This initiative has raised almost $13 million. Folds of Honor is also a strong partner of the PGA and scores of famous touring pros on the PGA and Senior PGA Tour. A brief moment on a plane impacted Major Dan Rooney's life forever and allowed him to make the world a better place. And he's making sure to make the most of the gifts given to him to help serve those impacted by the sacrifice of service.
I am thankful every day that God blessed me with the opportunity to combine my time and my talents and a unique platform to be able to serve others and continue to serve my country.